Let's do this! Welcome along to the Intel Extreme Masters 2016 from here, the Oracle in Oakland. And having been to the Intel Extreme Masters in North America the past couple of years, I can say these have been my favorite events. Why? Well, the CS has been amazing, but you have made it as a crowd. You're loud, you're enthusiastic, you know your shiz. Basically, you're all my spirit animal, and we are in for a treat over the next couple of days because we have 4 teams playing off today to make it through to the finals, and then we will crown a champion, the Intel Extreme Masters Oakland champions. They will win the lion's share of $300,000. They will also get to take home that, which is a trophy cum pizza platter, which is made from real silver. It's true. About 3 grams of silver. That will be on eBay within seconds. It won't be, obviously it won't be. So then, welcome along. Let's get on with this today, our quarter-finals day. What did we learn from the group stages? We now know that CS is at such a point that anyone can beat anyone at any time. Teams who have won big tournaments haven't made it through to this. Teams you would call underdogs, well, they are here playing today. So then, Oakland, I want to hear a yeah if you're ready for the quarterfinals. Let me hear you. Let me hear a hell yeah! Yeah, let's do this. Please welcome to the stage the first quarterfinalist. That is G2! So here we are, quarter-final day. Talk me through the group stages. How do you feel you played?
Not so good, not so bad.
Really? There's one player on your team who I think has been the focus of a lot of stuff going online at the moment. He played beautifully. He played like he had something to prove.
Yeah, but overall, like for us, he doesn't have anything to prove, and that's why he's on our team, and he will prove it again today.
So talk me through the team you're playing. They have won the last 2 majors. How'd you beat them?
The thing is, like, we beat them at ECS. It was in June, so we know we can beat them. It will really depend on how the map goes and stuff, but still, they are really friends outside the game. So anyway, if we lose or if we win, I mean, I prefer to lose against them than against another team.
They might be friends outside of the game. What are they right now?
Totally enemies, and we're gonna crush them.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, Shox. Thank you very much, buddy. So they are the first of our quarterfinalists. They need someone to play. They are from down south. They have won the last 2 majors. They are SK Gaming! Listen to that reception. Talk me through, it's the same question I asked before. How do you feel you played in the group stages?
Hello everyone, feels awesome. I think the most important thing when you play a group stage is to get out of it. So no matter if you get out in first or second or third, it's always a hard match, and we're going to play G2, so we're feeling great for today.
Because you struggled, there was a part in the group stages, you seemed to be struggling, there was a chance you weren't going to make it out, but it seems like the class is still there with you.
Yeah, it's always difficult. I mean, we got an upset from Heroic in the first group, in the first match. We're not expecting that, but then against FaZe, they played super well on the map we lost. And the other 3 matches, I think we did great, and we won off them. So, I don't know. Important, as I said, is to get out of it, and we did it.
I think looking at your lineup, people would say that you've never won an Intel Extreme Masters event, but you and one other player on your team have, haven't they?
Yeah, I think me and FNX in 2011 in New York, we won one of those plates. It was on IEM America, it was pretty cool. One of my first international events that I won. So it would be quite amazing to win another one today.
Because you've been around for ages, some people say, you know, wow, when you were Luminosity and the previous guys, they came out of nowhere, they won these 2 majors. You've been around winning events for ages, maybe not on CSGO, but on CS.
Yeah, on CS 1.6 I've been playing since 2003, so it's 13 years already playing. My first international event was in 2009, so it's quite a long road to get there, and a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication together.
Fabulous. Listen, it's going to be great to watch you play. Please put your hands together for SK Gaming. So then, the teams are sat down, they've said they're enemies right now, friends outside of this, but right now, it's all about a best of 3. So let's hand it over to a man who looks absolutely fabulous with those hot pink nails. It is your analyst, and let's start it off with the machine.
Thank you, OJ. Great stuff on stage. The plate shining makes your eyes just pop in those lights. Look great, as do my nails. I really, really don't regret this at all. I feel like I'm actually might make this a regular thing.
I just pity the people who, this is their first international CSGO tournament, they tune in and they look at us at the desk. You have pink nails, we all have mustache, I have a mohawk.
We've got male model Sam on the end just to kind of round it out.
Dazed is the guy who like looks the most normal on the desk. Yeah. That's when you know you got
That's what he's got going.
When he's representing us.
Well, it may look the most normal, but there's a guy in the crowd who literally has a giant face of me in there, so that kind of shakes it off too.
Okay, so I would advise keeping your distance from the man that carries a picture of your face. Probably historically not a good idea.
You should apply that to yourself, Alex, and your fans.
Maybe. Yeah, moving swiftly on. I mean, you know what I want to address, first of all, is the fact that, you know, Fallen was saying that he was playing an IEM event all the way back in 2006. This is now 10 years of Intel Extreme Masters. 64 IEM events if you include this one.
You know what's actually the funniest thing, Alex? That I think it was WCG Pan America or something of the sort, and there's a picture of actually Fallen was playing with his team, and Cold Zero was just there watching, and he like took a picture as a fan with Fallen. I think it was 2010 or around that time. And now they're playing together, and Cold is arguably the best player in the world, so that's amazing.
That's just an awesome storyline throughout this video game that we love. It's called, of course, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. If you're new here, we've got a lot to look forward to in our first best of 3, and that's where we have to take this discussion. SK and G2 have made their way onto the stage, and now we have to understand how this one's going to go down. Starting with you, Sam. The words out of Shox's mouth, his friends out of game, enemies, we're going to crush them. I'm assuming you're taking that with a pinch of salt.
I didn't think he sounded too confident up there, I'm going to be honest. It seemed like he was a little bit shaky. I think he thinks that they are underdogs, and he probably knows that. And he is right. They definitely are.
And what is it that puts them out of SK's category in your mind?
Well, I think it's the map pool. You know, it really is. Even on G2's best chances to win, I think, you know, best case scenario, we're probably saying 50-50. And like I said earlier, if, you know, they've been banning, G2 has been banning Mirage first every time right now, which means that SK would pick Train, or maybe they gamble and they ban Train, which in that case, you would assume SK would pick Mirage. So you're going to assume that SK will probably start 1-0.
I mean, that's what's so scary is, admittedly, they are very, very recently aware of how Train feels versus SK Yanko. Over in Russia, we witnessed that historical number, the 16-0.
Yeah, the 16-0. That's the problem. Like you would say, if you know, in another instance, maybe G2 would leave Mirage and ban Train, but they can't do it simply because that's a map that SK does play. And if it's a map you never play, you always veto it, you're not going to gamble like that. It's only a case if G2 feels so pressured to actually go for that, to not play Train, that they will actually let it through, and they feel they need to take that risk because otherwise they don't think they can, you know, start 1-0 down in the series.
Let's start the vetoes now then, because this is going to be a huge part of our discussion. And so to outline to the guys at home what we have just said, will they really change their insta-ban? Will G2 not ban Mirage? You're saying no. Sam, you're suggesting the same, right? They're going to have to just ban Mirage and accept their fate?
I think they will. I think, you know, they play Train a lot.
16-0.
I know, but they do play it a lot. It's a map that they do play. And you got to think their chances are probably better on Train than a map that they haven't played in a while.
The head-to-head is incredibly good, historically. I mean, that ECS final that Shox brought up, then they go like full 3 maps over in Epicenter. They meet quite often at these big high-roller tournaments, 300,000, of course, for this one.
And that Epicenter matchup was after they lose 16-0 on the first map. They actually managed to come back on Dust 2, the second map, which is extremely difficult mentally to achieve. They also had that amazing best-of-5 series at Pro League Finals, Season 3 in London, too. So I think it's a matchup that G2 is like comfortable with, even if that that sounds a bit silly considering how strong SK is, but they, as Shocks pointed out, they know that they can beat them, they know that they can play them. It's just that G2 for a while now has been pretty quiet in terms of results.
Yeah, a full 5 maps at the best of 5 of the Pro League Finals, a full 3 at Epicenter. G2 did manage to make it a quick 2-0 over on the ECS Finals in London. That was, of course, their home turf, it does seem. But let's bring up the vetoes and have a look where this one is going to go. G2 Instaban Mirage seems to be the call, and it's going to be SK removing Cash. Make a lot of sense to you there, Sam?
Yeah, they've been banning Cash first all the time, so no surprise there. And of course, G2, you know, they did what we thought.
Yeah.
They left Train in the
now
pool.
Yanko, picks.
I mean, you would say that SK is going to pick Train, that's the most likely thing, but actually even in Brazil, they had Train open in one of their series, and they actually didn't go for it. They went for Overpass instead. I don't think they're going to do it against G2, simply because they had such a dominating performance against them in Moscow. Now, when you look at G2 side of things, you would probably say, okay, they're going to pick Dust 2 because it's their most comfortable map, and I think G2, the team that they are, they will go for that pick, but you are wondering if perhaps they go for something like Nuke, right? Because SK hasn't shown much on Nuke, so maybe you think that they have a better chance on it.
We did see
that's exactly
2
what
G2
happens.
nukes, didn't we? Yep, okay. We're going to be pulling out a Nuke and SK.
Because I agree with Sam, if G2 picks Dust 2, that's a map that is probably 50-50. It's not a map that SK is bad on, and simply the way the map works, it plays to SK's strengths as well. They have a great double op setup, they're a very mobile, a proactive team, so they will move around on the CT side. So I think this is a good choice from G2.
100% win rate here at IEM Oakland on this map. I think they beat both Astralis and Liquid.
Alex, Shocks is giving one of his speeches.
He is.
If you guys have, like, you guys should Google or YouTube at, like, Shock's motivational speech. There's a one, like, a pretty good one, actually. It got me hyped.
Yeah.
But to turn, like, to the rest of the veto, right? You get the veto of Cobble from G2, and actually, it's interesting that SK with the last map choice, basically, they get to choose between Overpass and Dust 2. They actually let Dust 2 through, which is the most comfortable map for G2.
Yeah, I actually think this veto is the best chance that G2 has to come out on top. I think leaving in Dust 2 and picking Nuke was extremely smart by them, because SK's second ban is most certainly going to be Nuke. They looked very, very shaky on Nuke versus FaZe, not just because they lost, but because their outer take, they got nothing from it. Rain completely just dominated them out there. But strategically speaking, they didn't look very strong.
So with all of that said, and the first map locked in as Nuke, you're right, the success does lean towards G2 on this first map. The curveball, looking like the French side have won the veto, if you want to call it that. I have to ask you how Nuke plays out. Were you expecting to see SK pick up, or rather, are you expecting to see SK bite back on the first map?
The thing is, yes, the maps are relevant, but it's more relevant which G2 shows up. It's always a case of if they play well. I feel that it's been a while since G2 had a good run at a tournament. You know, it's very unlikely for them to be quiet for an extended period of time. I think another great thing is that Smith has been playing amazing this tournament. I think he has more than 100 ADR in rounds won for G2. He's been one of their most, if not the most impactful player. And Nuke is a map that plays to his strengths. I feel like he can be more passive in holding angles on the CT side.
And so
and
G2
he played very well. Excuse me, he played very well on Nuke as well earlier.
Yeah.
He top fragged for them and had over 100 DAR and was their best player on Nuke. So
expecting G2 to pick this one up, boys? It has to be a short answer.
I think it's tough because SK is going to go up 1-0 on Train, and then G2 has like 2 50-50s on Nuke and Dust 2.
Yeah.
So I think SK is still favored, but not by as much because of this veto.
We will be back to talk about Nuke after the break, rather after it has been played out. So we're going to take a quick one. When we come back, it's going to be Anderson Semler to cast through Nuke between G2 and SK. The first game, the first map here in the Oracle Arena.
Intel Extreme Masters Oakland is brought to you in part by Intel, HyperX, G Fuel, Kingwin, iBuyPower, Best Buy, Totino's, Acer, and Xfinity.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready here with the first game that's going to be coming up today, SK and G2. It's going to be on Nuke. It's a best of 3, though, but what a great map to get started. We did see this a lot during the group stage, so all the teams should have a pretty good idea how it plays now.
It's fantastic to see, actually. Nuke, the latest map, added to the pool, and all of a sudden it's the second most played map in most group phases and most tournaments. Epicenter was the second most played after Cobblestone. That's nuts. It's one of the fastest rises we've seen out of a new map added into a pool out of them all. It took months to get players to play Cobblestone and Overpass and Mirage right when they came out.
They are notoriously stubborn, those players, but once they get going, they certainly do. And the analysts were just telling us, actually, this might be the best map pool currently for G2 if they have to try and defeat SK, and that's exactly what they're gunning for here. SK going to be starting on the CT side, G2 on the terrorist side. So once again, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here. We are at the Oracle Arena, and it's going to be one hell of a beginning already. Look at SK pushing up into the lobby with 3 players looking for it here. Fur picking up the first kill. Cold Zero trying to see if he could maybe wrap around. It's going to be RPK with the refrag, but they don't realize they're getting flanked right here. Shox is out of the round, and now it's a 3-on-4 hiding in the corner. Scream trying to fight his way out. He's going to pick up 1 headshot. They need to defuse that bomb here. It's 2-on-3, and they're both grouping up. It's all on Scream. He gets 1. Another headshot coming in. That's the triple, but he can't make it work. FNX will take him out, and there's plenty of time for the defuse.
Oh, that's so tough for Scream, and that really highlights CS. Sometimes, it's the luck of the draw. He doesn't realize that he's exposed to the window behind him. His positioning is just out of it, and FNX is able to hit the headshot through. Tough break for G2 because a T-start, you're starting T-side on Nuke. It's a notoriously CT-sided map. If you pick up that pistol, you get those 3 rounds, you're feeling a whole lot better about your game. Now, well, G2, at least they got the bomb plant. They didn't just get annihilated, but still, they missed the chance to get a really strong start on this map.
I guarantee you Shox is going to be blaming himself for that one. He was sort of the backup there. He was meant to catch those people coming in from the radio room, and it just didn't work out as well as he'd wanted. So a bit of a shame. They did get the bomb plant, and they haven't invested into armor or anything here. So no big surprises coming up from G2. A lot of people up on that terrorist rooftop, though. We'll see if that's going to work out for them.
Yeah, they'll be setting it up. They can go ahead and break the windows, open up avenues to throw grenades onto that A site. They're really just trying to throw everything at SK right now to try and confuse SK, or at least teach them that, hey, there are these options. If you hear the windows go, now you're going to have to start guessing as to where we as a team are going to go on this map. But for now, at least, it is going to be G2 just working their way outside. They've invested a little bit in this round, very little, in fact. A Deagle picked up by Scream, no problem. I mean, if he can get some 1Ds, that's what he does.
Fallen, in fact, investing into a scout, so even though they probably know they're not going to be playing against armor, they still want to control this outside area. Fallen trying to get up, but they're actually already there, so he's in a bit of a weird position right now, sort of zoned out from the rest of his team. That's a good shot, though, and the UMP put into work, and a slow start, similar, but a really quick finish.
Yeah, that drops the bomb up there on high as well, so it's going to be Scream outside in the yard. He'll get caught out by Taco here in just a moment, unless Fallen hits the shot first. No, Taco from on high will find him. 2-0 lead now for SK Gaming on the CT side of Nuke, and, well, SK, they hardly take any damage that round, so this is a perfect start here for SK. But now G2, because they got that bomb plant, the pistol round, they have the money to go for the rifles. Only 4 grenades total, though. Unless Scream is going to have some money here. He has enough for grenade, well, for smoke, flash, or no, he just spent everything. Never mind.
Well, he did have a little bit left in the bank, so actually I'm a bit confused about why he didn't pick up some grenades. That could be horrible later on. That could actually be a big mistake. But they are really quick out of the yard here already, trying to see if they could pressure Cold Zero, who's playing in main. They've smoked him off, in fact. He's trying to make his way for the smoke, and look at that. Smith's going to catch him. Brilliant play coming out here.
Yeah, Smith's feeling really confident in his rifles right now. Scream, another headshot for him. They're picking apart the CT defense at this point. Smith is going to get on high now. Getting into heaven, that's going to give him eyes onto A site. And how do SK adjust to this? Well, I mean, if you can just flank Taco out there into the middle of nowhere, Smith's definitely expecting his teammates to be watching his back. A big mistake made by G2.
They have to win this round. It's 3-on-5, or it just was. If they can't close out a round like this, that's a very bad sign going into the rest of the half here. Shox has already infiltrated the back line. He's checked that nobody's in ramp right now. Taco and FNX, where are they? They need to be found. There's 55 seconds, and that's a big kill coming in. First of the game for Shox here, and now FNX is alone. 1-on-3. This should be an unwinnable position.
No, he's got 45 seconds left, though. That's the main thing. And he had a little bit of luck going into the pistol round where he was in the right place at the right time. Now Shoxy going to be drawing attention to himself up here. He's alone and steps out into a hail of bullets, but Body was waiting at Squeak door, and that opens up the kill. They're on the board, G2. They've got 1 round on the T side now, but SK Gaming, they should have the economy we go for a buy here.
I mean, this is the big question. They have a really tough decision to make. You can defend Nuke on CT side with very limited equipment, right? But it will be without the AWP. That means limited yard control, and they'll be lacking a lot of grenades here. So I understand they want to go for this buy, but it can also be a terrible risk. If they lose this round, suddenly G2 are just going to be celebrating very early on here. For any newcomers, you don't need that many rounds on the terrorist side here. This is a very, very CT-sided map, so you got to watch out for that as well. But yeah, G2, I like the focus that they're putting into these first 3 rounds.
No, they definitely, I mean, there are some players that are very experienced, at least with the older version of this map. Smiths and Shoxy really stand out as 2 prime players. That's hailing back to the days of Titan Very games, but still, they should be comfortable, they should be feeling it, and right now it's going to be that wall of smokes going down, a variation on the wall of smokes as well, really blocking off main, garage, allowing G2 to get down into secret, but a smoke is already there waiting for him.
Yeah, they got to be careful they don't get flanked, but they actually have left Shox outside to make sure that doesn't happen. That's actually a great idea. That means that all 4 people here can just focus on FNX. He can't make it back around the corner so easily, down to half health, and he's going to get shot down. RPK picking up the headshot there, and that's a really good start. Shox is still lurking outside, so they got to be careful with their rotations here, SK. 4 versus 5 and 40 seconds left.
It's a tough scenario there for FNX. A moment's indecision ends up costing him Scream, messes up his smoke, but shouldn't be that big of an issue. Coldzera has been spotted, already taking damage to the vents, and Smith will eventually find the headshot on him. 2-man advantage now for G2. Smoke is there so that they can get the bomb plant for free. And right now, SK Gaming, they should be thinking about saving, not actually just trying to retake this site.
You're exactly right, unless they can get some very quick kills in here. Taco's actually stuck on the bomb site, so there'll be no saving for him. He's going to tap the bomb once. There's a lot of noise around him, and he does have a kit, but that smoke is gone, and that's going to spell the end of him. It's now Fallen 1 versus 3 with the FAMAS, and a team kill coming in. Smith's undoing what he just did, winning against Coldzera. Now it's a one-on-one. Smith's hiding in the vent here. Fallen going to come through, and he does land another headshot. Technically speaking, 3 kills in the round for Smiths, but only really 2 of them were great. But those were high-impact kills, so should give him some credit anyway here. That ties up the scoreline. And, I mean, the first kill that Smiths got when he got it on Coldzera in the previous round out in main, that was a big impact frag as well. So pretty good job on him so far.
Yeah, killing Shoxy is always a high-impact kill. You know, whoever gets the kill in the end, right? That works out. So, well done by Smiths. He's off to a strong start here, and it was mentioned on the desk during the group phase when they played Nuke, G2, Smiths, he was in his element, he was dominating. And so now we're going to see if he can keep up that level here on the T side. A little bit of a peek there in ramp, and FNX with a USP is going to double dink Scream. 2 kills here. This is a hard eco from SK Gaming. How are G2 having this much trouble dealing with that?
I mean, it's brought back by the triple Mac 10 kill there for RPK, and that's incredibly fortunate. You cannot let go of a round like this. Again, rounds are so hard to come by on the terrorist side. If you start losing to just pistols, it's not only going to be bad, it's going to destroy your morale. You really need to keep the team tight like that. Now, Fur is down there waiting. He's only got the USP. If they play this together, there's really no way that he can win this. Like, they have to be able to coordinate well enough that they don't just give him 2 one-on-one fights.
He's got the right read. G2 has 50 seconds left, though. They can really run down this clock. See if he's going to make the mistake, forcing Fur to make the first move. But Fur's backed off now, and he's going to lie and wait. He's got that USP as well, so if he doesn't go for the shoulder peek, Smith has got an incendiary. He can try and clear out behind the silo. But if Fur doesn't give away his position here, he could get the drop on them.
Down to 30 seconds. He's actually going to be the proactive one. Goes out for it. I mean, the timing could have definitely worked out then, but G2 keeping it calm, keeping it cool, and now they take the round lead. They're up 3-2 here on the terrorist side. And currently top fragging on SK is actually Taco at 8-4. We need to see more out of Fallen, more out of Fur, definitely right now. Things are looking much better on G2.
It's a bit more even across the board. RPK and Scream leading the way, but then nobody really falling too far behind on G2. We are still early days here in the half, so a lot of room. But G2, because of that win, still, they ended up dropping 3 players in the last round. They still have the money to go for a full buy. They have all of the nades necessary, whereas SK Gaming, again, are limited. And this is the nightmare sort of scenario when you're CT Nuke, when you can't afford to full buy on nades. It's so hard to get the job done. It's going to come down to some flashy play exactly from Fallen or Cold. Somebody out in the yard has to step up.
Fallen has the tool for it, definitely. He can control so much of this yard with the sniper rifle. You see how far back he is if they try and go for that silo play. He's certainly quick enough to be able to get the kills on them. But you're right, the lack of smokes, I mean, they need the smokes to buy time on G2's clock, but they also need the smokes on the CT side to defuse in that B bomb side. That's a big feature of this map. You really do need that. And look at the flashbang coming in. FNX caught entirely, Fur up on the railing, not gonna make it work. He gets dropped, and so does Fallen. What a push into the A main here. This is just brilliant coming out of the French side. Just leaves Taco top fragging, yes, but also in a 1-on-4. Takes a fight with Smith and doesn't win it.
Very well done. But this is just showing that G2 have put some work into it. SK Gaming, they've had some rough times in the past on this map, and they definitely have been putting in work since then, trying to get comfortable. But G2 just seem to come out ahead, and they've got the confidence right now. That play, we're gonna get the replay here. Yeah, we get the replay here. They're just pushing as a unit out of Squeak, and the key part of this is that nobody can hesitate. You just have to fully commit, even if the two first guys that go out the door get sprayed down. Doesn't matter. You have to push. You have to get into that site, and so that's G2 just taking control of the situation and running with it.
Speaking of running and gunning, that's exactly what they're doing here. Body picking up 2 big kills, Scream with the follow-up, and that's the third one in. Fur going down, Smiths to take that last one there. That leaves us at 5-2 here with just a very strong performance. They are definitely controlling the pace of the game, and SK, now they have everything. They have the grenades, they have the rifles, and those Molotovs are really important. Because they didn't have the last round, G2 was able to run out that Squeak door, but as soon as you have the Molotov, you're probably going to preemptively throw it in there so that doesn't happen.
I was wondering if they were going to go for some very early aggression here. Shoxy's going to get the door open for him. So that's looking for an angle out into Garage for Fallen. If Fallen decided to take that AWP out there, challenge in main, Guardian loves to do that, for example, but it's not going to be the case. Instead, Fallen, passive angle, and he hits the shot on Smith's. Fur going to drop body at the same time.
Finally, a good start here for the Brazilian side. They, in turn, now really can't afford to give it away. Coldzera just has not been having a good time at all here. He gets shot down again. Straight headshot coming in from RPK, I believe, and now it's a 3-on-4. Still very winnable here for SK. They should be able to hold on to it, and they've got a decent setup right now. It's really hard right now for G2 to find an angle that isn't being covered.
Exactly. Well, more importantly is that SK Gaming, they can give up yard at this point. All they need to do is lock down the sites, and that's exactly what they've done. Fallen's fallen all the way back to the end of ramp. He's counting on his teammates just to keep control.
Let's see here, Scream up the ladder, making a little bit of noise there. We're down to 40 seconds as well, and that is getting a little bit close now, especially when you're not anywhere near a bomb site. You obviously need to have a little bit of time left. But G2 did this earlier in the game already. When they're in a tight situation, they slow it down to a crawl, and that's not always what we've been seeing. French teams notoriously tend to be very aggressive once the fight starts. They just sort of keep going, right? This is a slightly different pace, and I'm kind of liking it here. RPK trying to find an angle. He might be able to find Fallen, but instead, it's FNX going down. Fur does also pick up a kill. 2-on-4 or 2-on-3 here. 10 seconds left as he's trying to make the cross in. Shock's going to go for the bomb plant inside of the smoke, but gets denied. Fallen with a great triple there, shutting down the round, denying the bomb plant, and getting another round for SK.
Well played on SK, keeping their cool at the end. They were trying to work together, using the buddy system as well, going as a pair through clearing out lobby, clearing out main, making sure that G2 had nowhere really to go. Like, it's just, they were down to 15 seconds. That's not enough time, really. I mean, I do agree with you, Anders, that slowing down the pace is a good thing. Yes, okay, you're trying to look for SK Gaming to make the mistake then and try and capitalize off of that, but when you only have 20 seconds left to get onto the bomb site, that's where it starts to get really tricky for you.
Saying there's a limit to how much you can slow down that pace.
Exactly.
That may be true.
I mean, they aren't Na'Vi, right? Na'Vi were the kings of going for the 10-second plays left in the round, making the push onto the site and getting the bomb plant.
It's very true indeed. A little bit of a smoke out, a flashbang, maybe to allow someone to peek against Fallen out there. They still have the rifles on the G2 side. This is a dangerous angle, but the flash timing is perfect. Fallen doesn't know how to adjust the crosshairs there, not going to get the shot in. And now they get a little bit of yard control. And actually, if you look at the map here, SK are giving up a lot of map control out in the yard here. And that is a really big problem. You can't just do that for free, basically, here. They need to fight a little bit harder.
So Shox is going to be playing that lurk role right now. As soon as his teammates show themselves, he's going to be holding that outside, try to put some pressure there. Bit of a jump. Taco, a little bit late with the incendiary, but still he's going to have a presence on that lower site. Doors could get open, and he's in the perfect angle here to try and clothesline G2 as they come out onto the site. Coldzera will catch Shoxy lurking in the yard as well, so this is a fantastic start now for SK Gaming. They have everything in place.
That's the key kill. They might even be able to read the setup here for G2 just based on that one kill. They might know what's coming. Taco hiding in the corner. They've got the crossfire with the AWP on the other side. Down to 25 seconds. A lot of grenades coming into this B-bomb side. And now G2 have to make up their minds. Body going to get shot down. Bomb will be planted, but Taco already with a kill on RPK. Now it's down to Smith's 1 versus 4. Just trying to see if he can keep it alive somehow. He's going to get a great double kill in there, but it won't be enough. Still, SK going to win the round. Only losing 2 members here. And that's obviously the key part. They're going to be back to 4-5. Slowly stabilizing the early game here.
I mean, it's a great use of a utility from G2 to get out onto that site. The flash smoke combos, everything worked well there. But SK Gaming aren't making any mistakes. They aren't giving a free kill. They aren't getting over aggressive. They aren't giving any free kills to G2 to make life easier for them. Instead, they're basically just so confident in their ability to hold this site that they're just waiting for G2 to make the move.
And that could work out in their favor long term. I'm still very concerned about the really lax defense that they have out there. I don't mind that they're being a bit careful, but the problem is when G2 go down the secret stairwell like that to get into the B-bomb site, they have to at least be a little bit worried that someone might still have been out in garage. You know, they have to be worried that someone can sneak up behind them. They do have Shocks who sort of plays a little bit more relaxed out there, but I still think SK they're giving up too much control outside, and it can cause some gaps in the defense.
That's where, I mean, it's pretty much Nuke, right, that started that whole cliche where it's just like, well, if you're going to give up map control, if you're going to fall back to the sites, then your only choice at that point is to hit all of your shots, like your only chance, because you're not going to have any warning, early warning. You're just going to, the push is going to come onto a site, and you have a couple of seconds to react, and that's it. If you miss the shots, then you're doomed.
And just to add to that as well, if they are going to give up the out control, then at least have someone take a quick peek into lobby and see if anyone is there, because that will give you the other part of the information. If you see someone there, you have a very good understanding of what's coming up next. So you gotta have some information, either out in yard or down in lobby. You need to know what's going on the other side, and SK for a couple of rounds haven't really been doing that, but they have been winning the rounds anyway, so we'll see if they're going to do it again here. Cold Sierra, very defensive again, trying to get the shots through, a little bit going into Scream, but still all 5 members this time, not even with Shocks behind, they're all going to make it down.
We aren't seeing it. I mean, this is just brute force coming in from G2. There's no subtlety here. Put the smoke wall down and then go as 5 towards that B ramp. Taco might be spotting some movement. Yeah, he's spotted the movement now. Instant death there for Body waiting for him. Taco not going to miss the shot. RPK, however, will be there to trade. Effective push coming in from G2 so far, but they've had trouble cracking onto the B site in the past couple of rounds. So will they be able to take advantage of this here?
Well, we're about to find out. That's a great Molotov, and the smoke is on the other side. More Molotovs even raining in. That might have been a bit excessive, but now they need to get the bomb pump before those evaporate. Get in there, get the smoke up, and you can see the hesitation here on the French side. That can't happen. They need to commit, and because they don't, Molotovs are gone. Cold Zero picks up the kill there on RPK, and now it's 3 versus 4. Cold looking for more shots, but he's going to get tapped out by Shocks. Now it's a 3-on-3. The bomb is down as well. SK cannot let go of this round.
Now they have to actually make this retake happen, and Fallen will be able to trade out for the M4. He's got 15 bullets left, 14. You have no reload possible, Fallen. I hope you checked that, because otherwise this could get awkward for you. Well, Scream solves it. Not going to be a problem. FNX will trade with Smith, however, brings it back to a 2-on-2. But they've taken so much damage now, SK Gaming. It's all on Fur. He had the most HP, and Scream will find the headshot on him. So between Shoxy and Scream, now they're both alive, and FNX knows it. He's going to back off, try and hold on to his rifle for the next round here.
And they need it. I'm not even sure if SK aren't going to try and force it. 2 of them can buy. If they save this rifle, which obviously FNX will, then they can have 3 rifles, maybe, and then, you know, some pistols, maybe Max 7 or something. If they don't, then that's almost handing the entire first half here to G2. This was such a good play coming out of them. They isolate Taco in that corner. The only issue that I have is the hesitation going in. Once those grenades are up towards ramp, that's when they should strike immediately and not wait, you know, 5 seconds. But it was still very good. And look at the force coming in.
Exactly. They aren't wasting any time, SK Gaming. I mean, still, if they can get the right angles down, Shotgun, Fur, if he holds close to Squeak, it all depends on the positioning here between the different FSK players. And Fur will be up on that A site. He'll be able to play aggro as well. It looks like FNX and Fur might be actually prepping something. Taco goes for the aggressive peek through the smoke. Gets caught by RPK. No luck there.
I mean, a calculated risk, I would say, coming in from Taco. He only had the pistol. If he could have made a play for his team then, it would have been worth it. And they still have backup down there, maybe trying to lure them into Cold Zero. He's got 20 bullets and a lot of players coming his way. But what a headshot. Mid-air, taking out Body and bringing it back into a 4-on-4. That is the kind of Cold Zero we need to see all the time here, because G2 are definitely fired up.
Yeah, better yet, he actually falls back, plays from behind the boxes, resets, and well, now that makes it a little tricky here for G2. They do have ramp control. That's something to work off of, but they work their way back over here to lobby, making sure that nobody's pushed in behind them. Looks like they want to try and change it up. They've gone B the past couple of times. It's time to hit that A site, and FNX is waiting right in front. Smith is there to open things up.
It's a great kill, nice entry from Smiths, and that's going to give them the bomb plant here, and they have grenades. They have 2 more Molotovs. They can buy almost an infinite amount of time here. It's going to be very hard for SK to take Heaven, where they were just aiming. You see Fallen is there trying to get up, but it's very difficult, and he has to sort of just fall back a little bit. They're going to give up the round already. They just can't do anything, and I mean, they would have never made it up the ladder anyway, just because of all those grenades. That's going to be 7 rounds. Semler, what are we witnessing here? We're
witnessing a shaky SK Gaming, it seems. I mean, G2, they've hit their stride. There was a little bit of a bump in the road there the past 2 rounds where SK Gaming, things started to look like they were gelling for them, like they were coming together. But I felt like that was almost just because G2 were hesitating so much that it allowed SK Gaming to land the shots to take control of those 2 rounds. Now it's just like G2, they get ramp control, they clear that out, they play off of Taco, right? Taco took a risk, that's fine, right? If he catches the guy looking the wrong way, he starts things off with a good kill, maybe even saves a rifle, backs off. But then G2, the way that they play off of that is so solid. FNX, that's just bad luck as well. He's looking into Hut when the door opens, he just gets run over.
It's very intelligent from the T side, because Taco already went down and they saw Cold falling back. They know that's 2 out of the 5 that are sort of not going to be in the A-bomb side, right? Normally you would only have 1 person in ramp, so it's very easy math for G2 to think, okay, if they even have 1 person in yard, that means we're going to go into that bomb site in a 4-on-2 essentially at the very worst. So they're going to be fine with that. Fallen trying to see if he can maybe snag a kill out here early on, but oh, what a shot! Smiths sniping him with the AK, and now inside of the smoke waiting. Cold Sierra has to try and see if he can bring this back. He's only going to get the 1 kill. Shocks to follow it up. That is a great start once again.
What excellent work, but they are rotated in. FNX going to trade 1 for 1, but so long as G2 keep the man advantage, this favors them. Fur has rotated down to the side, however, with that Spike 7. He is in position, but Shoxy's working his way back around to the other side of the site. Fur might get exposed here in a moment if Shoxy decides to open that door. He has opened the door, and so you can see Fur's worried about it, but he's going to catch RPK with the gun in his hand. Awkward. Scream will eventually trade.
Yeah, if not for that flashbang, I think Fur would have easily picked up a double kill there against Scream 2. Now Taco, bomb is there, and he just spots it. That's very important. Otherwise, he would have probably kept going and definitely would have died. Now he can play for time. 40 seconds left, and timing really is everything at this moment. Shock's going to be walking up. Taco right up there. He turns around, and a great headshot coming through. Now 1-on-1. And this could be for the whole first half. G2 already with such a great scoreline. Taco, the weight of the world is on his shoulders here. Scream trying to make it in through the vent. 20 seconds left now. He has to either get the kill or pick up that bomb and plant it. And kill probably is a little bit more better right now, just because getting the bomb plant in when Taco is right next is going to be tricky. 10 seconds left, and Scream making his way around. There's the bomb picked up. Taco in the corner, goes to the crate. Oh, he can't hit it. Scream gonna get the headshot. And that's a huge round once again.
That's monstrous. Taco played that so well.
Perfectly, you would say. He got into the best possible position. I think that's the pressure just getting to him, and it's understandable.
Well, that's heartbreaking as well. G2 have won both 1v1 situations so far in this half. We're looking at a totally different scoreline. If SK Gaming win both of the 1v1s, G2 up to 8 rounds now on T-side Nuke, however, and SK Gaming have to go for pistols, so it's only going to get worse. We could be seeing G2 just completely stomp SK Gaming into the ground here at the beginning of this best of 3. This is G2's map as well. So clearly they're feeling confident, and they've got a reason to right now. Everything is going their way.
Starting the 13th round, and again, there's just been way too many eco rounds here for SK, or half-buy rounds. They just haven't had the equipment to put up a good fight, and that's because G2 have kept that pressure up so much. Now, just waiting and seeing. Body leading the charge with the MAC-10, always a good idea.
Yeah, he's gonna get the drop on him. Literally, FNX is gone, and so, well, SK, they really just need to kind of put this out of their heads, because clearly if they allow this map to get through, they've been putting some work through on it as well. So T-side is still waiting for him in the second half, and if they start off strong with a pistol, things could get fun. RPK is going to drop to Cold Zero with that deagle, and Taco doing work. He takes down Smith. G2, we saw this earlier in the half. They seem to struggle against these eco rounds. Last time this happened, it was cut way too close.
Oh, what? Cold Zero dropping shots without him even touching the ground. That is insane, but I'm not sure it's enough. I mean, that puts a smile on your face, but SK need way more than that here. They are in a 2-on-3, and we only have 15 seconds left. If they can win this round, maybe, just maybe, they can spark some kind of a comeback. Fallen inside of the site. He's going to spot Scream coming in. Easy headshot there. Now Body left alone, and he's going to go down. Fur knocks him out with the max 7. And SK, is that the round, Semler? Is that the round that's going to bring them back?
Well, they finally got something to go their way. So yes, I mean, they came close to winning at Eco earlier in the half. Now they actually managed to pull it off, and that is such a sick shot from Cold on Shoxy. Brutal, and I think this is the second tactical timeout coming in here from G2. They're allowed to have 4 30-second timeouts per map, each team. And yes, it will be the tactical here, the second one of the half for G2. So last time they took the tactical, it ended up working out for them. They started to get control again in the half, so it seems like they want to end strong. There's 2 rounds left in this half, 8-5. Perfectly capable of making this a 10-5 scoreline, G2.
That's a very real possibility right now. I mean, they must be feeling great at the moment, but you also have to keep that energy a little bit under control, right? You are playing one of the absolute best teams in the world. If you let it bubble over, if you get caught up in that feeling that we've done it, it can slip away really quickly. So I would keep the focus up right now. Scream doing a great job top fragging and on his team, and on the other team, Taco with 13 kills, and then Cold Zero close behind as well. They need more. Where is Fallen with the AWP right there to take out Smiths, and that's the kind of start they need.
I like it. SK Gaming changing it up. They haven't gone for an aggro push like that before. So that completely catches G2 off guard, it looks like. Smoke is going to go down for Scream, but he's just going to use it to get out. And somehow it looks like there was a little bit of a fight there. Fur took a lot of damage. Maybe just some wall banging through the smoke.
Could have one build up. It could have been that kind of trade, definitely. Body going to be sneaking into the hut, and some blind spray coming through from the other side. They do have a good setup here. Fur in position with the AK. There should be at least 1 kill, but he actually misses a lot. FNX going to be there to help him out. Now Fur going to try and recommit, but they're already on the site, and Body picking up 2 big headshots, leaving Taco, Fallen, and Cold here. 3-on-3, and all the timing. Body picks up a 3rd headshot, and now 2-on-3. The bomb will be going down. This is horrible for SK.
That's a maddening situation. SK Gaming, they can't seem to catch a break. Getting caught with a nade in your hand. Cold Zera, you need him to stay alive. It's going to be Fallen and Taco now, and Fallen has the high ground at least, but with the AWP and his teammate dying alone, it's not going to work. Although he does get a great shot on RPK. Body with the quad kill working on that ace, and Body's still alive. There's the flash to buy a little bit more time. Doesn't work though, and Shoxy gets lucky. Eventually gets the shot to win the round for G2, bringing them up to 9 rounds. But maybe some miscommunication there on the timing between Fallen and Taco. Taco really stepped out into the open in main and got punished.
What do you do against a round like that? You see the confusion for whoever was playing up at the hot. I think it was Fur, right? Just the confusion. He's not realized that they already got 2 people inside, and one of them was Body, and he picks up a quad kill. That's just too much to handle. Now we're going to go into the 15th round, last of the half here, and G2 internally, they must be celebrating at this point. They know that this is a huge achievement already. Big trade there. Smiths besting Fallen again. We've seen Smiths open up on him so many times, which again is a bit unusual, the subject of so much criticism, and maybe he's turned it around. It certainly feels like it here. 3 versus 3 at the moment, and they only have pistols on SK side.
Yeah, Fallen, usually a linchpin, one of the players leading SK Gaming. He's bottom fragging right now, so until he can get his head in the game here, I think that we're going to continue seeing SK Gaming struggle. Bomb will eventually get planted, and RPK planting it on top of the silo. A little bit of a spot there. Smiths will survive, but just barely. And now RPK's got the angle on the vents.
Fur going to be falling back fairly quickly to try and get around to the other side here. RPK could hear them running a lot, and Cold Zero going to get taken out now. It's down to Taco and Fur. 2-on-2 as they get that kill, but they need a lot more, and they need to get in here and plant and defuse the bomb. They don't have any kits right now, so time is simply running out second for second here. Taco will be going down, and now for he's just checking everywhere, but there is no time left. This will be 10-5, favoring G2 in the first half. Absolutely unbelievable performance here. Bomb is going to go up. Doesn't matter what Fur does any longer. RPK to take him out for the triple, and that's the end of the half. What an incredible scoreline here for the Frenchman.
They just took control. They never really allowed SK to get into the game. The beginning of this half started off with SK winning the pistol, sure, but then it all went G2's way. We're going to take a very short break now before we go into the second half here to see if SK Gaming can turn it around on their T side.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The second half coming up here between G2 and SK Gaming. And to the surprise of quite a few people, it is G2 leading the charge here, playing on the less favorite side. Now they're going to be playing on the CT side of Nuke. If they do this, Semler, suddenly they have a real chance of making it further in the tournament. I mean, everybody had SK picked to win this game.
Yeah, no, pretty clear cut, right? I mean, SK Gaming, one of the favorites to come into this tournament and beat up on everybody. I think that there was a bit of a shock that Astralis might be waiting, you know, in the wings here, that the Danes, no shock, I know for you, they're gonna win the major. But like, the fact that, you know, it's not like the powerhouses of SK, you know, of Navi that are just like outright dominating everything. Instead, SK Gaming have struggled in the group phase. They've shown some weakness. G2 as well. These are tournament-winning teams that are going to have to go neck and neck here in the quarterfinals for a chance at the semis. Not exactly what you'd expect. Kind of expect either one of these teams to just be waiting in the semis, waiting to play tomorrow.
Here's Fallen shooting out the ceiling windows, as you were pointing out in the first half, to get those grenades in. They have 2 smoke grenades. Or just to pretend that that's what they're doing. G2 can hear the glass falling, obviously, so they're going to be aware that that might be coming up as well. We'll see. SK, they need this round desperately. It's almost not even a contest if they don't win this round.
Keep in mind that SK Gaming won the first half pistol, and they've only got 5 rounds. They won the first half pistol and got 5 rounds. That's not good. So SK, there's a lot of pressure on them right now to pick up this pistol round. They have so little room for error.
It's actually shocking when you put it like that, isn't it? They should have had way more. G2, keep focused, keep it going, and we'll see if they can here. They are setting up outside a lobby. Fur is having a minor seizure, but I'm sure that will be sorted out any second now. Grenades are going to be raining in from the ceiling as well. They're trying to make their way through. Shots in the corner. Can they get rid of him? He's trying. RPK coming in to help out, but he's only going to get the 1 kill. FNX will take him out, and now Body all on him inside the A-bomb site. He's getting a little help from Scream, and now the bomb not being planted yet. Body making his way into the smoke. It's a 2-on-3 favoring G2, and Fallen has to catch up with FNX. Otherwise, this is not going to work.
What is going on here? This is such a chaotic round. Fallen now going to be drawing attention to himself. Scream looking for the fight. He's going to get the drive-by. Drops Fallen, and now it's FNX, 32 HP, but the bomb planted. Very similar to what we saw, actually, here in the first half pistol. where that was a chaotic just upper rush, just who was going to come out ahead. It all came down to who hit their shots. Still, G2 succeeded in picking up the bomb plant. So we'll see if SK Gaming can do the same here in the second half. Now that they're on the T side, they got that bomb plant, so that means they'll be able to buy a round earlier.
Just a minor detail about Shox' early position. The reason why it's so good in a pistol round is there's almost no chance that the opposing terrorist team will have Molotovs to clear it out. So they have to run deep into the bomb site to pick him off, and that's why RPK had such a good angle. Now, he didn't make the best of it, but that's the reason why. You'll see it used less later on when SK have Molotovs. It's very hard to clear someone from that corner. Now, 11-5, and this is just the worst of all worlds here for SK.
Yeah, 5 rounds necessary here for G2 to pick up this win. Take it to map 2 on Train. Train is SK Gaming's map as well, so keep that in mind. It's pretty much their stomping ground. They are incredibly good on that map. So this is a quarterfinal. They could easily go 3 maps. Smith's with the scout out in the yard, though, hunting for a target. And he's just looking top silo. Cold is up there right now, though, and he gets spotted. Boom, headshot.
That was practically deer hunting, wasn't it? Just very relaxed. You could hear the birds chirping, and then suddenly Cold Zero is no more. It's 12-5 here. So the Frenchmen are going to be marching on, and just, I mean, very impressive. I have to keep saying it a couple of times because it's definitely a really cool display that we're seeing here from G2. RPK in the top with 16 kills. Taco has been performing well on SK all game long, but he just needs a little bit of help.
Yeah, this is where they kind of have to start waking up SK. This is the round to do it. 3 rifles, 2 pistols, and the 2 pistols and a Galil as well, just to get more nades to work with. So we'll see. SK Gaming, they actually have quite the arsenal here going into the 18th round. 12-5 for G2.
All right, now they've bought a little bit early here. They've got the Galil, they've got the 2 AKs. A little bit sad that they are shooting out the windows with those rifles, just because that will alert G2 to the fact that it's coming, but maybe they just to strike some fear in their hearts, telling them early on.
If only there was a way to know that Taco had it as well, because Taco, I mean, Shox's ears must still be ringing from that clutch situation where Taco took his head off instantly.
They're setting up, they have the Molotovs as well, and you see the position that I think Cold Zero is in right now, up on that vent. He can throw a Molotov that lands right on the hut, and if anyone's holding there, which I don't think they are right now, but if they were, definitely BP. Actually, Body is, so yeah, he could get Molotov out of this position, and that's a great way to get started. It's going to be a smoke first, but yeah, there's the Molotov setup. Perfect.
Very nice. You see it? Drops right on top of Body. Instantly gets canceled. The timing is wrecked completely. Body still goes down, and FNX, don't shoot your teammates.
Oh, RPK with a good double kill. Smith picking up 1, and now it's all on Fallen. 1 versus 2. They started off so well, and he gets the headshot, but it's not enough with that Galil. That's going to make it 13-5. I'm actually shocked that Body managed to put out that Molotov so quick. It's a bit of a shame that I think the adrenaline was too much, you know? He still ran off the rooftop, but that's, yeah, that's a very good defense.
I almost want to replay that because it looked to me almost as if that was an SK Gaming smoke that got thrown in there and canceled the Molotov instantly.
No, I think he underhand threw it. Well, you can check that later, but I think he just, maybe he even had it primed already. I'm not even sure because that was incredibly fast. 13-5. They have a lot of deagles and not that much hope.
No, especially if Smith is going to be taking FNX out like that immediately, standing his ground, down to 1 HP. Do they have any idea? Yeah, Fallen gonna miss a shot, and so long as Smith is alive out here, he's a thorn in SK Gaming's side. Fallen will find the headshot on RPK, and that was a peek from hell, so it's gonna open it up here for Fur to walk right into Shoxy. Easy kill there for Shoxy. Fallen still alive out in Garage, but really they're just getting picked off one at a time. This is a perfect situation here for G2. They've completely handled this, and it doesn't feel like SK Gaming can get anything rolling at all here in this round. Cold even invested in Kevlar this round, and he's not finding anything.
No, you're definitely right. And in light of that, just need to get some clarification. Did you say he's a Thorn or a Thorin in their side? Because I think a Thorin is definitely, that's worse.
Definitely worse.
On the scale, right? Cold Zero, I'm not sure why you're keeping us waiting at this point in time. 1 versus 4 with the Deagle. He does have the bomb, but this is not going to happen. Best he can do is get a good headshot in for display purposes, but that's pretty much it. Smith will take him out for the triple, and that puts Smith at 14. So, and actually, he's been deducted 1 for the early team kill, so
truth.
It's even better than it seems.
Killed Shoxy earlier. But it's so consistent across the board for G2. This is I mean, this, if you're a G2 fan, is uplifting to see, right? Everybody seems to be hitting their shots right now, whereas SK are certainly struggling. But this is the big round. This is the make or break moment now for SK Gaming on the first round of this map. Or rather, the first map of this best of 3.
They got to make this work, and I mean, I don't think anyone could believe it at this point. They would need to win 11 rounds flawlessly, no mistakes at all, and that's just almost impossible to do, especially playing on Nuke. But they are setting up, a couple of grenades raining in. They're still in the radio room, so much of this is just sort of pretending and signaling to G2 that, hey, maybe we might be coming in. You'd better pull everybody back from ramp and try and see if you can make it work. You can see more grenades flashing in, Scream on the other side, counter flash coming out. That's actually going to put a halt to it. That's great. Now all those grenades in A are going to evaporate, and Scream is just here waiting. Very smart play.
Yeah, he does manage to make it back around the corner, though. And Cole is going to be free aiming exactly. He's aiming exactly towards that angle because it's right in front of Hell. Not the best positioning there by Scream. He gets punished. Smith barely makes it out of the corner, around the corner in time, but they are going to be able to go down to the lower site now. SK Gaming take control and get that bomb plant here because they have everybody in position to hold all of the angles. Shoxy is going to be able to get up. Try to take, well, find the headshot on first somehow. That shouldn't happen. There we go. FNX snuffs him.
Bit of wild spray coming out, but it works out in the end. Now, 3 versus 4. Bomb is about to go down here. RPK in Toxic looking for the kill, but he's not going to make it work. Body will be taking a kill on Cold Zera, but it's looking like G2 somehow are still coming back in this round. Now it's a 2-on-2. The Bomb planted in a very good position for SK, though.
Both have kits. And yeah, FNX is going to be the linchpin here. As long as he maintains control of this high ground here with the eye on the bomb. Fallen going to go for the greedy peek, though. Body going to get caught, and now it's all down to Smith. Smith versus FNX, and Smith has given away his position. He's on the site. He gets spotted. Nothing he could do. FNX was in the perfect spot to deal with him in the end. 14-6. SK Gaming, a key round picked up now. But a lot of these rounds, Anders, are just looking so chaotic. Just very, very shaky from both teams, in fact. You can still tell that they're still getting adjusted to this map, which is surprising considering everybody seems to be picking this map. We're not really seeing like the top tier kind of CS here. We're seeing very scrappy stuff where it's headshots galore.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly turned into a very chaotic fight, and that can happen a lot when you lose the ramp control, because suddenly you're not quite sure where the terrorist team is, you know, especially if you don't have Heaven or Hell over by the A-bomb side. You need to sort of have some control there. They have an auto sniper picked up on Smith, so he's certainly ready to bring the pain if they try and go out in the yard here. We're 14-6. SK, they win a round. It's way too early to celebrate. They need many more.
I'm actually kind of surprised to see him out in yard with it. So we used to see a lot of Scar 20 play over on ramp room as well, because when SK Gaming would come charging through, they're running through a bottleneck. All you have to do is tap mouse 1 and you're just slaying. Now there's the flash through. He gets spotted, Fallen. At least there's the information gained, and Smith has to try and back off so that he doesn't get rushed down here, looking for an angle. Not going to be able to spot out Fallen. Instead, trying to cover the high ground, make sure that his teammate playing Heaven is not going to get flanked.
That was a bit scary. There was a huge gap in the smoke there that if Smith had been in a different position, they would have been railed on from that auto sniper. Now, timing almost perfect for RPK. They had a grenade in hand there. They're going to Molotov him back in, and they're not there to catch him when he comes out, so he's going to retake this position here. 40 seconds left. SK now or never, and Smith showing up with the auto sniper, getting one. RPK with the kill. They're trying to make their way through the smoke to get the plant in, but it's not happening. Fallen alone in the corner. He's going to go down, and that will be 15-6. G2 Esports here, now at map point.
And wild stuff as well, because they completely give up the yard. That just plays into G2's hands. They had that two-layer, basically. Smith dropping back to CT to watch Heaven and Hell to make sure they can't get flanked through there if they want to go SK Gaming, and then RPK holding in defense. That was their answer, G2, just falling back and basically giving full yard control over to SK Gaming. So real scary. Talked about that in the first half, right? It's a very difficult position to find yourself in, because if you miss the shots, if RPK doesn't stay alive, for example, the situation can spin out of control so quickly. So SK, they aren't quite able to make it that time. 3 Tech 9s, 2 Deagles, a handful of nades, and it's a forced buy for the Brazilian team here to try and keep G2 from picking up this first map.
And you have to think this round could go one or two ways. Either they try and use the Deagles outside to snipe somebody, or they get close enough to a bomb site and they try and use the Tech 9s to run somebody down. It's got to be one or the other here. Fallen in the corner. Oh, can't find Shox. He turns around just in time for that one, so not the best start here.
And now Shox has a free smoke to work with as well. RPK, he's got the angle behind the vents, perfectly done. And then, obviously, Smith's on high, going to find his own kill. Cold, usually the last man in action, looking for the lurker. Well, this time it's all on him, and it's not going to happen. Scream will eventually hunt him down. 16-6, the final score. SK Gaming picking up only a single round in that second half. And once again, just disappointing, not really seeing where that Nuke pick comes from for SK, right? Just not really seeing a level on there that's going to be able to compete with the best. But then again, I guess that's like that wash, right? The way that the ban went, Nuke was allowed to go to G2, G2 crush on it, but now SK get to go to Train, and that should be SK's stomping ground.
You would have to think, you certainly have to hope so. They do look a little bit deflated walking out, but they're going to have to pick themselves up again for sure. That was a very impressive performance. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said basically they won the pistol round and then they still only got 5 overall on the CT side. Nowhere near acceptable. And I wanna have a complete breakdown of this. So please, Alex, take us through what just happened.
It would be my great pleasure. It looks like Virtus.pro are even in the crowd and perhaps even on stage here for IEM Oakland, but it is great to see G2 do what they had to. Of course, YNK and Daze did set the scene oh so beautifully for this best of 3. Anderson Semler guided you through it, but now we have to understand it. You said the veto was perfect for G2 to pick up a win here. It would admittedly be a surprise win. I don't think anyone would take that away from them. But boys, T-side Nuke, G2 showing form. I mean, Janko, this is surely a huge leap towards winning a best of 3 versus the defending world champions.
Of course, seeing as how Dust 2 is in the pool, it's probably the most comfortable map for G2 there is. And I think they did a great job, obviously, on the T side, right? And G2 is a team that maybe you won't see many flashy executes from them or something super elaborate, but they do a very good job of switching things up, right? Realizing that their opponents have a weak buy, then throwing in a fast rush through Squeaky, knowing that they won't have the Molotovs and the utility to stop them.
And Sam, if we do reflect upon G2's, less execute heavy T side, where were these rounds coming from? Where were these victories being made?
Well, it started with the 3rd round. Smith and Scream went outside. They threw a smoke mini. Smith went by it quick, caught someone in the smoke. Then they double peeked Heaven, got that kill. 3rd round done. Then what really set them up was that in the following round, they did the triple outside smoke. Went down lower, SK was on a pretty poor buy. We were able to just outgun them. And that really set up a lot of good strings of rounds. I think they went up 5-2 early. But I'm very surprised by SK because G2 played extremely similar to them from what we saw from SK in group play. Extremely similar. The triple outside smokes, the 4 walking close and down there, and they had no idea how to stop it. Yet they played against FaZe, who stopped it perfectly. And even G2 right there, we saw later in the half, stopped it great. This is the round we're talking about. Smith comes out, he gets that kill there, and then look, they double peek. Scream is with Smith here. They're able to just isolate Fallen. Even if Fallen would have taken a shot on Scream and fell back, Smith was right next to the windows, he would have picked him off as well. This is what started it all off. This was so crucial because they had almost no nades.
And is this a typical kind of T-side approach, is just wrapping around from outside, Janko? This is like one of 3 kind of approaches to T-side Nuke?
Definitely so, especially when you have like a weak buy like G2 had here. As Sam just said, they had, I think Shox and Scream both had no nades in the round. So you want to find those aim duels outside, even more so when you have a player like Scream. And I think this is also where you see some holes in SK's game on Nuke, because you see it time and time again. Fallen is mostly playing towards the Heaven area, whether he's up or down, but he gets smoked off, right? He can't do anything. Then you have Cold by himself in secret. Then after that, you have FNX again by himself. You want to establish crossfires. You want to have, 2 players holding secret together so they can play off of each other. This way, you just get a 1-for-1 train. That's not good enough on the CT side.
Yeah, SK, they respect other parts of the map too much on Nuke, and they don't over-rotate, which is a complete contrast to how we see them play almost every CT-sided map. On Dust 2 and things like that, they'll take very calculated risks. Sometimes they'll send 4 people towards A if they see any type of fast, long aggression. So it was very different from how they played, and their rotates were very, very slow. Yeah. And we saw G2 later on in the half. As soon as SK did the same strat that G2 was doing, what happened? They smoked off right side ramp when they went lower to plant. They mollied the left. Scream runs through the Molotov to fight with RPK. As RPK goes through the vents, they all collapse on it, and they all go there. And that's very similar to what we saw with FaZe. So Nuke is a map where you really want to rotate very, very quickly, over-rotate, have one person upper that you trust fully. And we did not see that at all from SK.
So I just want you to elaborate for the guys at home and perhaps even myself. But using the word over-rotate, to a lot of people at home, that sounds like a bad thing. Over-rotate, you're rotating too much. You're using that in a positive sense here, Sam. I mean, Janko, perhaps you could explain upon it as well. Over-rotating can be a good thing?
Yeah, it can. It just means that on the first call you see, or right, you see the players smoking off, and they're probably going towards secret. That's when you send players there. Maybe even if you don't have vision because of the smoke, but you can assume that they want to go lower, and you send, like RPK in that last round, just ran through the Molotov invent. Scream was running as well, because that's the most plausible play. That's what's the most likely thing to happen. And because of that, SK takes just a bit too much time, even though they cover their bases with Molotovs and smokes. But it becomes a bit too telegraphed at that point. G2 is able to rotate, and then they just pull off a good hold.
And a good win as well. Final thought from you, Sam, before we do take a break and start talking train.
Well, Yanko talked about, when you see the people, you over-rotate. The problem with SK is they didn't get any information at outside. They didn't know that they were walking 4 or 5 towards secret. Because on Nuke, it's very easy to just have 1 to 2 players wait for the lurk. It's a very easy kill as long as you wait for it. But you could have 3 other people rotate and take those battles and really over-rotate in that sense. But they didn't have the information that allowed them to do that.
A battle for information, and I can give you some information. G2 1-0 up. They could very well take SK down upon their home map train. However, our analysts will be definitely not hesitating to tell you how difficult that will be after our break. When we do return, it will be train, the second map of our playoff day here in the Oracle Arena, Oakland. Do not go anywhere.